As I've always said, it's your presence that makes these events special. And so, now we have a busy agenda, and I'll turn it over to Rand. Okay?
Wonderful. All right, thank you, Don. Really appreciate it, and welcome everybody. We're delighted that you're able to join us for our Friday Forum. So to get us started here today, I'm going to kick it over to Leslie, who has an introduction to make. Leslie.
Good morning. I want to introduce to you Maria Morse. She's our new wellness nurse here at Regency Oaks for our independent living side.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Maria, and I've been in this company for almost 13 years. I work at the assisted living, and now I'm working with Leslie, and I'm originally from the Philippines, and I've been in this state for 30 years. And most of my family works here, and we love working here in this community. We are blessed and fortunate to work in this company. And by nature, I'm shy, so work with me. And I'm looking forward to get to know you and work with you. And have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, Leslie, and welcome. Our next presenter is Darwin, who has a special recognition to give. All right, well, thank you, Leslie. Appreciate that. Our next presenter is Darwin with a special recognition. Darwin.
I want to recognize George. He's our Employee of the Month, and I'm really happy. He's a great worker, and I'm glad he's coming from another company. And he does a great job for every one of you guys, and I'm really happy to be part of my team.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, next up with a short, exciting video is Ricky and our culinary team. Ricky.
Red habit shall be dead.
Good morning, everybody. The quick video you're going to see is a video that we put together from my house. It's Evening Under the Stars. We generally do it in October, but we couldn't this year. But we're going to do it again in October. My wife doesn't like to hear that, but it's a really great time. And hopefully we're going to win this competition. It's called Chef of the Year competition. So this is the video that we're submitting. So I don't see a reason why we shouldn't win. Thank you. Enjoy the video.
Day one at Ricky Scott.
All right, well, that was a fun night at Ricky's house, and just another great culinary experience that our team works so hard to pull together for the residents. So if you haven't had an opportunity to join us for a wine and food pairing, or an enchanted evening, or an evening under the stars, look for one of those opportunities. There's something every single month, and it's a great experience. All right, to our administrative reports, we had Steve Ballmer, the president and CEO of Leading Age, join us here at Regency Oaks, and he talked about a legislative update. He talked about the mission of Leading Age and how they work with FLICRA for the advancement of resident issues in CCRCs and in the senior housing arena. He joined us for lunch and met with our executive board. It was a really good meeting. The community, after 124 days being stuck in phase 3 of the COVID protocols, in the second week of April, we were able to reopen. And so that removed all of the final restrictions. We brought our dining rooms back to 100% occupancy. We opened our doors to guests and families, and so we are now completely reopened and moving forward. Yay! Sherry Robinson was at the community. We introduced Sherry Robinson. She is the new Vice President DOM, which stands for Director of Director of Management. And Sherry is replacing Mary Mackey, who had served in that capacity for the last 8 years. There was a reorganization within LCS, and so we ended up with Sherry and 2 other new team members. Amy Waugh has returned as the Regional Director of Sales. Amy is a long-term associate here at Regency Oaks. She was our Sales and Marketing Director for over 11 years. And then we also had Angie Akey, who is going to be the new Director of Clinical Services, and she is replacing Beverly, who had been in that role for 8 years. We provided legislative updates during the month of April, keeping residents up to date on what's happening in our legislative session. This is a really solid legislative session this year for senior housing. A number of significant pieces of legislation were approved. First and foremost is the bed tax legislation that is going to extend the tax status that accumulates back to residents of Regency Oaks and other CCRCs. It essentially removes the sales tax, bed tax exemption, so that let's just say it saves you hundreds of dollars. And so that was passed. We also passed the tort and liability limitations that will give protection to senior housing providers because of COVID litigation. There was a bill passed that allowed for personal care attendants to be used in assisted living, and that's a positive given the state of the labor market right now. And then finally, we presented our annual fire preparedness and prevention seminar here in the town hall, and it was well attended. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Sherry Schweitzo. I'm the Director of Finance here at Regency Oaks. And I know with the changes with Sherry Robinson, we will try to make sure that we're very clear who we are talking about. But for those of you who thought I was Brandt's new boss, that's not the case, okay? And Sherry Robinson's title, she's Vice President, Director of Operations Management. I had to look it up on her email. So, anyhow, proud to be working with Brandt here at the community. So today's report is on the March financials. I'm currently working on April, so as you may recall, I'm 1 month behind on my reports to you all. Our occupancy here at Regency Oaks Independent Living was 91%. Our assisted living was at 99%, and our skilled nursing was at 76%, which on a budget of 73, which is good due to our restrictions on the quarantine wing. So overall, the campus is at 89.3% on a budget of 89.9. So we're very, very, very close. So I'm going to report on our revenue for March. Our IHS, Innovative Home Services, is ahead of budget by $12,000. Assisted living was ahead of budget by $8,000. And our health center was ahead of budget by $44,000. We did have a revenue recognition change pushed down from peak, and the way we recognize our apartment upgrade revenue is now going to be reclassed to what we call below the line, where our reporting and budgeting is net operating income. Below the line means there are other revenue recognition and other expenses. So therefore, throughout the year, we're going to show that we're a little bit under budget and what our budget reflects. Next year, we'll correct that, and it's all good. It's still revenue and goes to the bottom line. Just a little bit of a reporting change. Our labor, total wages and benefits were slightly over. However, our overtime remains close to budget on less than 0.5%. So we are managing that week over week. Our total operating expenses were over budget slightly. However, our net operating income for Regency Oaks, and this is net operating, not total, $159,000 on a budget of $300,000. That reclass made a delta or a change in month over month of about $200,000. So again, it's a positive revenue. We're just reporting it a little bit differently. Our community still incurs revenue losses and increases due to COVID expense. We expect those expenses to go down month over month. However, with the restrictions in the health center, we will still have some challenges in our revenue. At this time, the community has no significant threats or weaknesses. Thank you.
All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. So I'm Kyle Poole, and I'm the healthcare administrator for the healthcare center and the assisted living. So a few updates for the month of April is COVID cases at the healthcare center and in this assisted living continue to be 0. We had 2 associates that were positive in the month of April. Associate testing is still weekly currently. The weekly county positivity rate is still hovering around the 5% mark, so that puts us still into the weekly testing mark. As soon as that continues to drop, we will go into a monthly testing. But at this time, we're still at 5. We're still in weekly testing. So I know Sherry already mentioned the census, but the assisted living continued to run at budget of 25.5, and census is projected to run full for the month of May. The SNF also ran a budget at a 45.5 and will continue to run at or above budget for the month of May. We did have a marketing event on April 22nd with approximately 30 attendees participating from case managers, physicians, and home health companies. So this was kind of one of our first marketing events since COVID-19. So I think for our first one since in a while, we had a good participation. We also had a marketing event that we attended a symposium with Northside Hospital on April 22nd, and a North County event for marketing was attended on April 28th with home health care companies, hospice, case managers, physicians. So it was good. The marketing events are starting to kick back up again. We're starting to be more visible and present at hospitals, with case managers, with physicians' offices, so things are going in the right direction for that. So the visitation booth is still going well for the SNF and the assisted living. When I say SNF, I'm sorry, I'm referencing the skilled nursing facility. We've increased the visitation times and dates to meet the demand, as it's been increasing month over month. ACA and CMS have lifted some restrictions for visitation, so we have moved visitations to our courtyards, our conference rooms, indoor visits. If they're residing in the assisted living, they can now come into the resident's apartment because they are in a private room, so they can have one-on-one visits. But we still ask that they be scheduled at the front desk because we have to maintain best practices for infection control and social distancing at this time. Family nights are making a big comeback. Our first family night for the healthcare center is scheduled for May 26th and the 27th, and this will be a cookout event that will take place outside and will be with live entertainment. So the families and residents are really looking forward to those events coming back to the healthcare center, so it's a good thing. And that's it for the healthcare center.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Darwin Perez with Plan Operations. Here's a couple of updates on what we worked last month. We got all the new signage for all the recycling bins in South and North. We're still working on trying to get it to work, but the new signage are up. So the residents did a nice job making the signs for us. And also think we work on the SARA system. We were having some issues with dependents, and we got the system reboot, and we got a new antenna for that too. And also we work on the pool heater. We were having a lot of issues with the pool. We finally got it to work, so I'm glad. And we got the generator for the health center certificates to be in compliance with ACA. So we are good there too. All right, thank you. Thank you.
You want to do yours?
No?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's good.
That's it right there.
All right, yes. Everyone, hello.
Sales, Perry Goodbar. We've had another busy month. April was good. We had 4 closes on a budget of 4. That's fantastic. And we also collected 4 additional deposits. So as we work on May, the month we're in now, we've got a nice head start towards accomplishing the goals in May. So that's great. We continue to have a lot of events, marketing events, partnering with the food and beverage department. We had 125 different people attend events in April. From that, we had 2 that deposited and closed. And we have a number of other deposits, 4 other deposits from people that attended the events most recently. So that continues to be successful for us. We also continue with a multitude of e-blasts and direct mails that go out. So we continue touching our database and even the purchase databases we've had as well. I've mentioned in a couple of smaller meetings, but since everyone gets to see this, I want to mention it again, so I apologize for those who've heard this already. But we're happy to say that our sales team was the #1 producing sales team in the division last year for calendar year 2020. And with that, Lucy Norland was #1 in the division, and Judy Stump was right on her heels as #2 in the division. And what's equally more impressive with that is when you look at some of the other communities, if you add up all of what their total efforts were, Judy and Lucy individually beat the collective teams of at least half of the other communities. So they had a fantastic year. And I know everyone will rush over and bring gifts. I can accept cash or anything down to take back to them. I'm happy to do that. But thanks again. Hope you have a great day.
I'm Leslie Haas, Resident Services Director. For the month of April, we had 2 mobility device tune-up clinics with the 6th Street Mobility Clinic. We also continued our Good Grief support group, as well as our monthly sharps and prescription disposals. We hosted 2 new resident lunches, one from last year for Q4, as well as our first quarter for 2021. We hired Maria Morse, our new wellness nurse, as well as we had our second shingle shot clinic. You can look forward to later this year, we'll continue to do our shingle shots clinics. And then we continue to do our screenings for our temperature check-ins with our visitors, residents, and employees. Thank you.
Hello again. Ricky Baca, Phil Cirque, Food and Beverage. Just a couple updates. We had welcomed Lee Ginsberg in as our dining room manager. The salad bar is fully open. All right. We're going to continue with our gourmets, breezeways, wine clubs, and beer club. The gourmet will now feature lobster tail as the main protein, and if you can't have lobster and you want to have chicken or whatever's on the menu in the dining rooms that day, we can definitely substitute that for you. And then also we have Mother's Day coming up on Sunday, which will have the full salad bar, assorted breads, shrimp cocktail, beef tenderloin, orange roughy, and we'll finish with a creme brulee cheesecake. Oh darn. And then we're going to get back to our mystery dinners, and that's going to take place on May 27th. For those of you that haven't been on a mystery dinner, it's really cool. You get on the bus, you have no idea where you're going. You can either go to the Golden Corral or Burns Steakhouse. You never know. So have a happy Mother's Day. Thanks again.
Hello, Bobby. Good to see you. It's good to see anybody.
I'm fine. How are you? What happened to you?
Oh, don't look at me. I look a fright. Haven't been to the beauty shop in a whole year. Oh, you mean my arm. Clumsy me. I fell and broke my arm.
I am so sorry to hear that.
Don't worry. It gives me an excuse to get out of Shady Palms. We're under lockdown and I can't get out, but the doctor's a good excuse. And then I can go to Publix. Nobody's supposed to know I'm here.
Our executive director keeps us well informed of all the changes. He even gives us a COVID update once a week.
Wow, that's great. I don't know what's going on. What are you doing about food?
Oh, we have been very well cared for. Our great dining director and his team even gave us 3 meals a day while we were in lockdown.
Oh my God.
And it's going very smoothly.
Well, we get food too. They deliver it to us and I don't always care for it. You know, we don't have any choice of what we get to eat.
Oh, we always had a choice. We had a choice of entrees, we had a choice of vegetables, desserts, and sometimes they even put a candy bar in the bag. Oh, and once a week the wine cart came by. You had wine or beer, whichever you chose. But now our dining room is completely open 100%.
It is?
Yes.
Wow, are you still playing bridge?
Oh, absolutely, and bingo is back on too. Our executive director stays on top of all these situations in our community and keeps us informed about what is safe to do.
Oh, I'm bored. I don't have anything to do.
Our program director also, during the shutdown, arranged for us to have every afternoon a movie on our in-house TV.
All I'm doing is cleaning my apartment.
Well, you get your exercise that way. Our exercise classes are back on every single day. But the first few weeks of COVID, we had to do our own floors. But now housekeeping is back completely as normal.
I'll be glad when I get my shots. Then I can see my daughter and my grandchildren.
You haven't had your shots? We got ours in February.
Oh my gosh. Where'd you get them?
Right here in our town hall.
Wow.
Oh, our executive director made a deal with CVS to come out for a clinic here, and his department heads were very well organized. They all came in on a Saturday. It went really smoothly. We've had both of our shots since February.
Wow, it sounds like Regency Oaks is a great place, and I'm sure that their staff is fantastic.
It is. Everyone worked together during this whole trying time, and I know it was not easy for them keeping everything sanitized and keeping everything running. But we owe a huge thank you to our executive director and all of his wonderful
How about a round of applause for our two great actresses? Two of our greatest actresses, all right? They did a great job. Thank you, Rand. Buried in all that is thank you to Brand, and thank you to all the directors for all they did to keep us safe. But the real purpose for me getting up here now is want to give some awards. Okay, and we want to thank Brand for all he's done during this COVID period for us. First, he's kept us safe and healthy. No easy task. No easy task. So thank you for that. Second, he's kept us informed. If I don't see another COVID chart for the rest of my life, I'll be very happy. No, he showed us more COVID charts every single week and kept us up to date. I never felt like I wasn't fully informed of what was happening. We owe that. Thank you to you, Brent. Third, he focused his directors and entire staff on serving us and keeping us healthy and keeping us safe. They were here for our shots, and that's the fourth thing that he did for us. He got his shots early, very early, and that was no easy task. I know he and I talked about it weekly, and he was working on it hard, but he finally got it done. And where do we have to go for that? Right here. Couldn't have made it any easier for us. And last, he kept us informed of what was happening and where we were going, and he made all the hard decisions, okay, to keep us safe and to keep us healthy. So we're lucky to have him as a leader, and on behalf of the community, okay, Brad, could you sneak out here? We have a certificate, okay? Certificate of Appreciation presented May 7th, 2021 to Brand Spence for keeping the community of Regency Oaks safe and healthy during COVID-19. Signed by myself, by Fred Green, the Vice President, Gene Beagles, our Secretary, and Don Hamilton, our Treasurer. So, on behalf of the community, Brand, we present you this certificate. Thank you very much. And then I have a gift for you.
Okay.
I have to get over there to get this.
Hold it up, I suspect.
This is a paperweight, okay? Doesn't look like a paperweight, but it is. All right, and it's for your desk.
Oh, this is spring.
Yeah, no, but not just, it's pretty durable. There it is.
Says, Brant, thank you for all that you do.
That's on behalf of all of and keeping us safe and keeping us healthy during this COVID. Well done, young man. Well done. Appreciate it.
All right, so thank you very much. And our actresses, I think there may be a Black Cat nomination for that performance.
I already am a black cat.
Oh, okay. You know, we are so blessed for a couple of reasons. First, we have the most incredible team of managers. I'm blessed to be able to work with them. You're blessed because of the fantastic work that they do each and every day. So thank you, but let's also give a big round of applause. And finally, you know, it's been a long year, and you know, fortunately, we've kept the community safe, and we've put a lot of effort and time into doing that. But it would not have been possible without the support and the backing of the residents. And I think about all that you've endured in terms of locking of the side doors and not being able to see your friends and your family, and putting up with the restrictions and the limitations. And you've been troopers. You are the reason we were successful. So thank you for being a part of our team.
Want to do some questions?
Sure, let's do that.
Let's do questions.
Glad I came to it. I don't usually come, but I do have a concern that if I don't tell you about it, you can't fix it. This concerns the dog owners here. We are having such a problem getting the dog bins cleaned out and bags put back in. And I put in, I don't know how many requests, and they seem to be ignored. I don't know which department handles it, but it really needs to be handled, and there are still dog owners who are allowing their pets to mess wherever and not pick it up. Right now, at the back door of the South Building, one dog messed behind the door, and it's been there for 2 days. And it's just shameful that the owners don't tell somebody or come back and clean it up. Thank you.
The replacing of the doggy bag is our department, and we got the setup that he's supposed to be checking them every other day. But we're gonna go ahead and make an effort to go ahead and check them every day. We were doing it every other day, but it looks like they're getting fuller than what we think. So I'm gonna make sure I address that with them and make sure we check them every day.
That would be wonderful, but, you know, sometimes they go for a week or 10 days and they haven't been emptied. So they're obviously not checking them every other day.
Yeah, I'll make sure I'll be on top of that. I'll check them myself the first couple of weeks until they get it right.
A couple of other things. If you do notice waste outside, whether it's on a perimeter road or the grassway, please be sure to report that to the front desk so that we can promptly address it. A reminder to our pet owners, we ask that you take your pets to the perimeter area, not the band of green space immediately connecting to the building. You need to be on the outer perimeter road, so that that's one of our ways of being able to control this and making sure that if there is someone who's not taking care of their pet and picking up after them, it's not going to be up close to our building where it creates a smell or the opportunity to track it into the building. So please make sure if you're a pet owner that you're walking the dogs on the perimeter areas of the building. And thanks for raising that.
Back to the dog owners. The other day, it's not only outside the problem with the dogs. The other day, I was coming out of the dining room, and right in the hallway, right in the middle, there was a big poop sitting there.
I know you want the pool at 86, but if we could possibly have it 2 degrees warmer, it would be wonderful. Our bodies are 97, 98, and when you walk into that pool, it's like walking into a bucket of ice.
This reminds me of the green bean argument, and some of us like our green beans, and if you like them mush, there is no compromise. It either is one way or the other, and sort of the same predicament occurs with the pool. Some people want it cool and refreshing, other people want it warm and therapeutic. And so it's a compromise has been very difficult to crack. And so Don Infante and I said, we are way too unwise to try to solve this. So we have given it to the smartest man on campus, the father of Lake Wobegotten. Don Hamilton has agreed to take this up, and he and the Building and Grounds Committee are going to have, they're going to talk to the end users, those people who swim and want it at 82, the aqua class, and then also to those people who want that temperature at 90 degrees or higher. And so we've given this to Don because we believe he is the perfect man to try to address this. And we're going to talk to the end users, try to find a compromise, and see if we can work out a solution that everybody can buy off on.
All right.
The inside door to the outside parking lot on the S wing has been broken for a long time. And I'm just wondering when and if it's going to be repaired.
Working on getting replaced, and then it's been hard to get the materials and all that, but I'll make sure I'll follow up on that, in particular that door on the S-wing, make sure we do something about it.
Okay, I remember back in the day, there was something called a Code Brown. You heard of Code Gray, blah, blah, blah. Code Brown was if you saw some poopy in the hole. You would call up the desk and they would come out, get somebody out there to fix it, clean it, whatever they do. Okay, so Code Brown, call them up. Thank you, Joe.
Talk about switching from Spectrum to some other company. Can anybody tell us how that's going to happen and when?
So that is not going to happen. And so what you heard is that we have switched to Frontier for our non-residential, non-business phones. They're the back of the house phones. They're the phones that the elevator uses to, if you're trapped in an elevator, they have an auto dial that goes to a receiving station. All of our communication phones, non-residential, non-business lines have switched to Frontier. Not your lines. There are no plans to change your lines. Spectrum will continue to be the provider of choice. Now, having said that, the other thing that you have heard is that we are in the process of providing enhanced Wi-Fi capabilities across the campus. All we are doing at this point is testing signal strength, and we're just about done with that. But at some point in the near future, we believe we'll be able to offer residents of Regency Oaks the opportunity to change their TV and internet provider from Spectrum to Regency Oaks. We believe at that point we will have a better product, better service at a cheaper price and higher quality. So that's coming, but don't anticipate that to be introduced until sometime early fall of this year. And we're not going to require anyone to switch from anything, but it will be a available service that I think is going to make a much better choice for residents because it makes sense. Clear? We got it. Okay.
Coming. Have a great day. Let us congratulate Brent for his award.